Hey everyone, James Reeves at the USS Auction House in Tokyo. Not really in Tokyo, like an hour and a half outside of town. Right?
A little bit outside of town. They call it Tokyo for just popularity reasons, probably.
You guys remember my buddy Aaron, this guy, best exporter / buyer's agent in the business. Worst haircut, but he's really good at his job. So, we look past it. How does the Tokyo Auction House compare to some of the other auction houses in Japan and maybe elsewhere in the world?
Tokyo, compared to a lot of the auction houses in Japan, this is by far the largest one.
And this is the largest one in the world, too.
To my knowledge, this is the largest one in the world. Today is 17,300 cars, I think, all at auction. All gonna sell today or go through auction today. There's 16 cars at a time essentially being auctioned today. It'll run from about 9 a.m. till about 7 p.m. I think I've seen it a few times, over 20,000 cars here auctioned in one day. One day, they're all going to be auctioned. So it is the largest one in the world, as well as obviously Japan. This one is a little bit different. A lot of them in Japan are more like parking garage types, so that, they save space, so they're parking garages. This one just has one small garage that we're standing on now. So it's just really, really, really big land-wise. So it's a lot of logistically, it's it's a little bit more daunting because it's so big and you just have to walk around a lot more. It's just bigger. It's the biggest guy, so it's the most modernized. Generally, this one and another auction in Nagoya, which is the second largest, that's about 10,000 cars, so it's 50% or more bigger.
Mm-hmm. People out there are probably thinking like, man, it must be pandemonium in there. It must be people screaming and, like the stock market. Or, you got like an auctioneer up there. It's like a library in there. It's like dead silent almost.
Yeah, it's super quiet. Everything is done on the screens. There's no tender type bidding or anything like that where people are, raising their hands and got to get a one, got to get a two, there's none of that sort of thing going on. It's all computerized on the screen. Everybody has their own terminal. Everybody's doing their own thing. The mass amount of cars, because there is 16 at a time being auctioned. Even though there's 17,000, it comes up many times during the day where you're bidding on a lot of the same cars at the same time. So it gets a little bit hectic. You're trying to switch screens. You're looking at the wrong screen. You're looking up top, and it gets hectic with that many cars and that sort of volume. Luck of the draw, sometimes it's a little bit of all hands on deck to try to get everything bid on accurately. It's not like you see on TV where cars are running through a lane on auction or anything like that. It's all computerized. So you have monitors. So you have pretty much monitors on a big wall in front of you that has every lane, and there's 16 lanes now. And then there's like stadium seating, and each seat has a monitor terminal, and then that's where you do your actual bidding, is on the terminal itself. There's 2 bidding rooms.
Like 5 movie theaters together just for one of these rooms.
Essentially, sort of
just nuts. And then you've got the little paddles, so you can bid on 2 auctions at a time, right?
Technically, you could if the 2 cars are on the same adjacent lanes for that thing. There's buttons. You got the blue lane and the orange lane, and then you can toggle between. Essentially, because there's 16 cars going to auction at the same time, there's 8 pairs of 2 lanes, and then you have the corresponding buttons.
It's just nuts. I was in there, I was overwhelmed.
Click it, click.
How do I know if we're winning?
Slow down, click.
At the end of it, I'm not kidding, it was like an adrenaline rush, and it was confusing, and I was frightened. My genitals went up into my body to protect, whenever you're trying to protect.
Scared.
Because I'm afraid.
Fear.
How long does an individual auction last?
If it's a really, really cheap car that maybe starts at reserve, doesn't get a lot of action, it could sell in a matter of seconds, 5, 7 seconds, super quick. If it's a really expensive car and the reserve light comes on and there's just a really, really long bidding cycle where you're going through hundreds of thousands of dollars to get there, it could be, many, many minutes. It could be 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes where it's just...
10 minutes? That's...
Yeah, I've seen ones that just were going and going and going for something really rare, expensive, maybe over $1 million.
Mm-hmm. You got to hit that button. It's because it's 500 yen, right? Or 5,000 yen.
It's about 5,000 yen.
Every time you hit the button.
So you click, 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 and you're just going in those increments. I've seen ones where I literally went to the bathroom, got a drink, and came back, and the same 2 cars or the same cars being bid on.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you can watch on the little screen. It's got the little clicks, and you can see the volume of people clicking on it, and then it starts to go down, and just like with the Land Cruiser that we bought earlier, it gets down, you can tell where it's just like one other dude.
We talked about how many people are in here bidding. in the bidding halls. Well, you can also bid live remotely. So there could be people bidding all over the world. When I've on business trips and thing, I've bid, on the other side of the globe and bought cars live. So you never really know how many people you're bidding against. You can sort of tell by the way the system is and the lighting and the pace of the bidding. You can tell, okay, maybe it's just one other guy or two other guys that I'm kind of up against at that time. But yeah, you never know who it is.
First floor is like the lobby. You got bathrooms, vending machines, whatever. Second floor, you've got the arenas, the auction arenas. Third floor, cafeteria. We just went up there, had an oishi curry.
Pretty average lunch, a mid-lunch.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It was only like, what, 750?
850 yen.
850 yen.
Bucks,
yeah,
like that, maybe.
Yeah, it was great. It was like
Might
a
change
nice...
your pants later, but I mean... Everything's a dice roll.
I mean,
look,
yeah.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Literally.
I mean, for that kind of money, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's all I'm saying. We have the auction house right behind us, and then we have a mile of cars in this direction that are somewhat organized. It's funny. We're standing in front of car number 1 right now.
Yeah,
we're at the very beginning.
Technically, car number 1. This is a small, essentially like parking garage you're on the roof of that houses just a small fraction of the cars. Everything else is on one solid ground parking lot sort of level, and you probably could pick it up a little bit from the camera, but it's nearly as far as the eye can see. It's about a mile out, and I don't know, half a mile maybe wide total, maybe a little bit less than that, and it's just cars. Like I said, there's 17,300-ish, I guess so, here today, and there's even lots that are outside of the tree line.
It's actually quite pleasing to the eye because you've got everything kind of organized.
Starting here in the front is there's an awning here that has the real high-end specialty cars, and they're fenced off. You can't even really get into that.
Signs say keep out, like you got to keep out of this area. Lamborghini, new G-Wagons, awesome Porsches. You've got a Morgan Plus 8, you've got an old Lotus, I don't know, Elise or Elan or some shit, Cobra, old Honda Vamos that's been it's like a military looking vehicle.
Then it's the 65,000 section, which is sort of like considered like the premium section. It could be anything. It's a little bit more money for people to put them in auction, so they pay a little bit more to have them up in the front. Yeah, so we're here in one of the sections that houses some of the more expensive cars, mostly imports. Get an old weird Chevrolet, I guess, right there. There's a Maybach there, Bentley.
Lamborghini SUV right here.
Goofy thing is Urus, I think. Tom Selleck Mobile, Magnum PI, Porsche, G-Wagons, lots of expensive stuff in this section here. G63 or a 65, 63. This section here, starting to move back a little bit. This is a mixture of a lot of, still some nice cars, but a lot of nicer JDM Japanese cars that people want to put in an expensive section. The Sarah here, the super low mileage, Copen, nice Tourer. New Fairlady, R35 GTR, Porsche, Chipbox drift car, Jaguar, Chipbox Jaguar, let me rephrase that. That's an E500, I think, here. This Mercedes-Benz, those are pretty uncommon, pretty sought after. So just still some more nice specialty cars, a nice Toyota Classic. London Cab Wannabe, I think, something like that. But everything's mixed in. I mean, you can have whatever. It really depends on what section the person pays to put it in. Oh, that's the Cedric.
Cedric the Entertainer?
I wonder how many children were conceived in that.
Conceived and possibly delivered. All right, where are we now?
So right now we're in the 76,000 section, just all European or foreign cars. So, I mean, you look around, Porsche Turbo, some Volkswagen T-Cross, Bug,
Alpha,
Renault's over there, Volkswagen,
Mercedes,
BMW, Mercedes,
G-Wagons
Porsche.
Everywhere.
You should get down and pimp pose in front of that.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
Oh, green. Dude, that one's actually in great shape.
Green for the money, gold for the honeys.
Dude, this one's actually in phenomenal condition. Oh, yeah. Dude, they had all the badges taken off the back. That's kind of cool.
This is actually in nice shape.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at this. Is definitely
nice. Look at that. Look at the retro graphics on this Bronco here.
Oh shit, dude, these are both kind of cool over here.
If OJ had stripes like this on it,
yeah, they would have just let him go. Look at this slammed Astra van. I gotta drop my kids off at soccer and then go shoot some members of the rival gang. This is hilarious. Like another slam van. This is like the slam van section.
They're into vans, man.
This is awesome. This is one of the coolest things that I've seen all day. This little Daihatsu, little mini, like a K camper. These popular or no?
Yeah, these little K campers are pretty neat. They're not very big, so you got to be kind of small, or maybe for just like one person, but they're pretty common. You see them, a lot of guys take them, go camping in the rural areas out near Mount Fuji or some of the other mountainous areas. A lot of times fire trucks, they become decommissioned, and the vast majority of them are in very, very good shape, and they have very low mileage because they're well maintained. You have, I think this is a Toyota Dyna here. On the left, you have a 70 series Land Cruiser, and it's still got all the pump equipment and everything off it. A lot of times people just take that off and put like a ute box or something like that on the back, but this one here is, they generally have less than 15,000 kilometers. This one has a little more, 18,000 kilometers. It's a 93 70 series diesel Land Cruiser. I mean, it's kind of, this thing is built to survive end of days, and this one only has 18,000 kilometers, so Amber Lance. Yeah, this is another section here in the back, kind of a mixture of regular vans, some passenger vans, handicap vehicles, kind of a good mixture of things back here of pretty standard, rock standard sort of vehicles, nothing too crazy, but there's some neat stuff mixed in here. Vans, you got a lot of kids, you're handicapped, or you like to f***. That's pretty much it.
Why not all of them?
Yeah, or all three. So here in the back, a bunch of the campers are parked back here. You got camping cars in all shapes and sizes. Most of these here are a bunch of Toyotas that you see, but there's Nissans, some other Toyotas, probably have some Mazdas, some Nissan Atlases.
And at this point, we're at like the very, very back. I mean, we can't even see the auction house.
Yeah, we're at the back of the main lot. There's lots even beyond this, but this is kind of where the tree line was in the videos that you saw earlier. We're in even further back, and as you can see, we're in a sea of commercial type trucks. Got a bucket truck here, looks like a reefer refrigerator truck. Roll back, car transport vehicle.
You could buy it all.
sell,
And
yeah.
I could just buy this if I wanted to. I live in the United States. Can I buy one of these?
Yeah, if you wanted a bucket truck to take photos of your neighbor sunbathing in her backyard, we can set you up.
I'm listening. It's so
all the
funny.
frame.
Just buy yourself a garbage truck.
Or a little wrecker. A little engine that could.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Cedric. Cedric does sex, man. He does.
No, JDMs are a little bit further up.
Yeah, it's where that car is up there. This is the back of the 10,000 section, and there's tons of JDM cars, as you see here. Skylines, STIs, Civic, Type Rs, more Skylines down there of all different sorts.
40 series.
Prado.
Some Japanese redneck on this one. Good grief.
Oh, yeah.
What a thing to do.
Got a lot of money on it, though.
Ugh, gross.
A lot of money in it.
Yeah, a lot of money pissed away on it. Disgusting. Look at those wheels. That guy should be disgusted.
Supras. R34.
There's Supras all over the place.
Mark IV Supra. Mark IV Supra. Civic Si. These are cool, man. I kind of like Civic as these old things.
Yeah, me too.
Winky the Terreno.
And it's funny because some of these are so nice and some of them are just colossal pieces of shit.
Just like anything else. Some of these are old drift cars that, you know, they had their shit pushed in on the racetrack. The negative camber like
Yeah.
this is a drift car.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just tell, like, a lot of them have just been beat to shit. I mean,
Look at the giant butt plug shift knob on this one, too.
We're at the very, very back, and this is like the shit box section. Look at this poor old Honda Beat that's beat to shit. That car didn't even start the first time. Got a bunch of rusted out trucks. Yeah, this is like all the shit boxes. Hey, that Mitsubishi's not bad.
It's going to start raining. We got to start getting out of here, catch a shuttle out. But yeah, thanks for coming along with us. We'll have more content later. And if you guys need anything, please reach out. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. I know it's sort of daunting for people to buy cars from around the world, but we try to make it easy. You can reach me at bulldogautojapan.com. I'm on Instagram. I think the handle is the same. Facebook, you can reach me. You just search that, you can find me anywhere. One thing that sets us apart from a lot of exporters is we either inspect in person or I pay out of pocket for inspections on every car we buy. Sometimes they're super, super good depending on the auction. Sometimes it's a little bit more limited in the info we get, but I want to just make sure that the customers have all the information possible so they can make the buying decision, because you know, sometimes we're buying pretty old cars, 25, 30, 40-year-old cars.
You got to have someone you trust.